Hello, my name is Brandy. I'm a student physical therapist here at UMHB, and I am working with Nick, who is about 45 years old. All right, so some history about Nick is that he was a prior football, baseball guy in high school, right-handed thrower, so his right side recently, over the past 3 to 4 months, has just progressively gotten more painful and more stiff. And at this point, at 4 months, he said that his pain is now superseding his weakness. So I'm gonna start off with a couple tests. First thing I'm gonna do is clear his spine. So I'm gonna do the Sperling test, the quadrant test, and the distracted test. So with the quadrant test, what I'm gonna have you do, sit up nice and tall, good. I'm gonna have you look down and try to smell your earth. There you go, beautiful. So I'm gonna guide you down that direction, back up, smell the other armpit. So turn, rotate down, beautiful. Now what we're gonna do is pretend as if I was holding like your favorite toy right here, guiding you up, good. If I wanted to make this the Sperling at this point, what I could do is I could also apply the downward pressure in that angle off to the other side. So we're gonna go back to neutral, so up and over. And I would apply pressure, same thing, down towards. And the very last thing I could do, sit up nice and tall, would be a distraction test. All right, so with that distraction test, with all those tests, we did notice no pain with the compression part, so that rules out any sort of neurological problems. Same with the distraction test, it didn't alleviate the problems, which lets us know that, again, it's not cervical. Moving forward with that, what we're going to do is, I'll have you stand up for me, Nick. Cool. We're gonna just kind of not alleviate, but decide kind of where that pain is isolated to. So first thing I'm gonna have you do is I'm gonna have you do just stand nice and normal, all the way up, all the way down. Does that hurt, or is just not able to get that high?
A little bit of both.
Awesome. Okay, well, not awesome, but here we are. So with that being said, in that pain, is it more up here, or in the back, you think?
Kind of like, I feel like it's up here and in the back some.
Okay, so next thing I'm gonna have you is just take a seat back on that bed really quick. So I am going to do the Hawkins-Kennedy test to kind of specify or isolate that pain a little bit more. So what I'm gonna have you do is come up, sit up nice and tall for me. So I'm gonna go across your body, so all the way across, and then angle down with a little bit, ooh, there it is, okay. That's all we got. And again, is the pain in the back on this one? Okay. Making sure that the pain's not in the front, because then we would be messing with a different kind of issue. So we've kind of isolated it to a frozen shoulder at this point. So what I'm gonna have you do, Nick, is we're gonna go through a little bit of mobility, just kind of loosen that shoulder up. So I'm gonna have you lay on back for me. And we're gonna do some posterior glides on his shoulder. So I'm going to grab a hold. Thank you for scooting nice and close. First thing I'm gonna do is kind of joint play to assess where he's at, and then that's gonna be able to tell me kind of how far I can go in, or where the end of his joint play is. So from here, all I'm gonna do, grab, slightly distract, do a little bit more. There we go. So from here, distraction. Okay. Definitely don't have as much in that posterior. Good. Any pain there?
There's some comfortable for sure.
Okay. So now that I've found his end range of motion towards the posterior glide, I'm going to get down into it. Get into at a 3 or a 4. I'm going to press into it. So the forward, I'd stay there, but I'm going to start off with a 3. So I'm going to go to that end range and come off of it a little bit and just keep tapping into the end range. And that's about it for today. So from here, pull out. Any pain there?
It's uncomfortable, but it ain't no worse than it has been.
That's good. All right, so that was a grade 3 posterior remote glide for Nick's frozen shoulder, and we'd progress from there. Thank you so much.